Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Future Podcast. Today's special episode number 10. I know at the beginning of last episode I messed it up, but that's okay. That's why we number them on the YouTube channel.
There you go.
But today is episode 10.
Yep.
First double digit, a milestone, one of many
Very
that we'll
excited.
be getting.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going to go a little bit more detailed, personal with y'all today. We're going to have a fun one. We're going to go through movies that kind of remind us of our childhood, bring about good memories, and then we'll go a little bit in music as well, kind of see how that touched our childhood, everything like that.
Yeah,
But we're excited for this episode. We're glad to see we have plenty of people watching
Yes.
when we post new episodes, so just let us know what y'all want, and we'll deliver for y'all.
Yep, or else we're just going to keep yapping about useless stuff.
Pretty much. That's what we're good for. So.
But yeah, today's kind of, going down memory lane for us, but kind of just, I guess you would say throwing out your favorites of just plain and simple whatever it is, and it's something that triggers something in your mind and just kind of takes you back.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it can be a good memory, sad memory, whatever it is, but something that just, tingles you in all the right places. It just,
It's that spot.
it's fun to think of, and that's what makes them classics to each person as their own. I love that, how each person can have their own set of classics.
Like nobody else's. Everybody's unique in their own way. So they
Yeah.
have a unique taste, everything like that.
Yeah, and I hope some of the viewers out there, you hear any of these movies as we go through them, if you've never seen it, give it a watch. That's how I've found some of the best movies I've seen is through people just saying, hey, you ought to check this out. Sometimes they're duds, but, to each their own.
Sometimes you find some good ones, though.
Yeah. Well, do you want to start it off, or do you want me to start it off?
I'll start it off. How about that?
Okay, go right ahead.
Alrighty. For the first, it's really a set of movies that really defined my young childhood was the MCU, the first phase, where we got Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Avengers, all of those first sets of movies. Like my entire childhood was that.
Absolutely. I remember every bit of watching that. Yeah, you were consumed.
It was awesome. To see the Hulk in live action, 2008.
Yeah.
Against Abomination. Such a good movie. Like I've said before, I watched that movie so many times that the disc wore out. And get another one.
Yeah, we did.
They're gonna do it twice. That's how much I like the Hulk.
Yeah.
Hulk is just, as a kid, is such a cool superhero, big, strong, doesn't like bullies. It's like, yep.
Who wouldn't love to be able to Hulk up when you get angry?
Exactly. It's like everybody, all that built up testosterone. It's like, yeah, that's what.
All that rage just building up.
I don't know. That's just that one, and then we got to see Thor. Remember, we got all the Slurpee cups. We had them.
It was that first phase of the MCU is just
iconic,
epic. Yeah, iconic, and
what it grew from.
To see what it came to fruition to be is amazing, and to see it still going for years, and to see the camaraderie with those actors, you don't see that a lot.
No.
Especially not to the extent where they're getting tattoos and stuff together to show that they really enjoyed making the films, and I think that went across into the fans such as yourself, where it's like, man, look how dedicated they are to it. That's why we like it so much.
Yeah, it's a real chemistry we get to see on the TV all the time. And then you had Captain America, the First Avenger.
Oh man,
phenomenal movie.
Great.
That one, that's the best trilogy, I feel. All three of those. It's like there's a few like pretty close, but I feel that one, every single one is perfect.
And you so have different.
The first one, you see just the build of his character, who he really is, why he's a superhero.
Yeah.
Like superheroes don't all have abilities.
No.
It's just everyday people, and then luckily we got somebody who got actual abilities and used it for good.
I love how they superimposed Chris Evans' face on the tiny dude.
That's awesome.
Because I was wondering, like, how are they going to pull this off without it looking bad? And it looked great. And kudos to them with that one, because that one, man, I was hooked with that one when it came out.
Good. It's phenomenal. What they did with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel everybody like around my age can all say at least that one.
Well, I feel you cheated because you kind of lumped a bunch of them into one. Well, I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna start off real young for me. I'm gonna kind of go along, might jump around a little bit, but you gotta remember my age is a little bit different than his. One of the first animated movies I really remember being infatuated with, still watch it to this day. The Secret of NIMH. Okay, not a lot of people really probably know The Secret of NIMH, but the animation in this is old school. This goes way back to the late 70s, early 80s. Okay, whatever. Um, the animation back then, everything being so hand drawn and perfect and detailed, and it's such a dark cartoon, kind of. It's a dark story, but I just that movie alone, it's the only thing I can remember when it comes to like a first animated movie that really made me want to start watching movies. Because back then, most cartoons were just TV shows. There wasn't a lot of animated movies other than Disney, just the cheesy Disney movies. And I guess for a darker soul like me, saw that one come out, and I still love it to this day. Me and my mom watch it when it comes on.
Yeah.
She's an old hippie. She can't help it. But yeah, Secret of NIMH. If anybody hasn't seen that one, go watch that one. That's cool. If you ever want to see mystic, mice and rats and owls, and it's just crazy, crazy story. But the animation is just insane.
Phenomenal. That's awesome. Yeah. Now I got a few animated ones on here.
Yeah, all right.
But I guess a big animated one, I'm sure you remember me and Hunter watching Monster House.
Oh man, I think we had to buy that one twice as well.
Me and Hunter watched it so many times. I mean, it was such a cool concept where it
really
always
was.
hear haunted houses, but this house is really a monster. Because we always hear these fake stories how someone died in the construction of building this.
Oh,
everywhere you work, someone's going to be like, did you know there's a ghost that haunts this?
He lives in the walls.
They said that at the movie theaters. Like, nobody, Toby didn't fall from the top of the building. Like, it's not real. But this is the concept where someone died in the making of it.
Yeah.
Since their revenge is haunting that house. And it's just cool to see how the house comes alive. But it still looks like the house. Like, they didn't, make it a goofy animation.
No, they really didn't.
Really
I thought
good.
it was pretty good for, what it was.
A lot of big actors, too, were in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember you and your brother wore that one out, man.
That's just awesome. I mean,
y'all love that one.
Such a fun movie just to watch. I'll even watch it now if it's on TV. I'm like, dang, Monster House. I haven't watched that one in a while.
Hey, some animated movies are just that way.
That's that good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
You reminded me of animated movies. I had to throw that one out there.
Well, I've only got a few animated on here. Probably only a couple, and I'm going to get to the second one here because this one has a lot of memories for me in a lot of ways because it was my introduction into adult pulp comics when I was far too young an age to be introduced to it. So it was like me sneaking into the taboo of what I wasn't supposed to be. But it's called Heavy Metal. Okay, it's based off of pulp comics, but they made it into an animated movie. Now, they made a sequel, Heavy Metal 2000, terrible, garbage, don't watch that one. Heavy Metal. Okay, there's aliens, there's space travel, there's powerful orbs that, and it tells the story about how this orb has traveled through the universe and how it's really a curse, but people think it's a treasure because they think if they can, trade it in for something, but all it does is just ruin the life of whoever comes in contact with it. Dang. But there again, based off like the 70s, 80s animation, unbelievable animation, all hand-drawn, very, very old school with the animation, but very naughty, a lot of naughty parts in the movie, not for the kids. I got in trouble for watching it. Now I have it on DVD because I'm an adult and I can own it. But Heavy Metal, if you haven't seen it, watch it.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, well, there's a reason you never saw it. You're an adult now. I can let you watch it, but,
Well, that makes good sense. I'm glad I didn't see it at a young age. No, it's just what used to, when you thought of art style, as soon as you brought that up, I saw in here I had Toy Story, that first Toy Story.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's my whole childhood. I love the soundtrack.
Man.
You Got a Friend in Me. It's such a good story.
That's iconic.
It's like a bunch of misfits, not all family, and they're coexisting and welcoming, and they fight the challenge of maybe never playing with the same kid.
It pulls at your heartstrings, man.
Does.
They did a good job. I mean, Disney's good at that. Let's just face it. You can make a grown man cry watching a Disney movie, but
yeah, that's what Up will do to you.
Oh, Up's, man.
That's the saddest Disney movie I think I've ever seen.
It was really tough raising kids in an era when they kept coming out with all of those great, really sad Disney movies.
You're like, dude.
Because you love to watch them, but it's like, y'all going to make me cry again. Yeah, Man.
Up is a good one.
That Up is a good one.
Up and Toy Story.
But Toy Story, I mean, they're still going. They're making another one.
I know. I can't believe they're doing another one. The fact that
Until Tom Hanks croaks, I think they're going to keep making them.
Probably. And they got rid of
Buzz Lightyear.
You can't
beat him as Woody.
I don't know. Just Toy Stories and all the toys that she had, Grandma had, so...
Yeah.
I got to play with actual Woody and Buzz Lightyear. I don't know. It's just a crucial part, especially with a brother who's 2 years older than you.
Yeah.
So we were both at the same age, basically. So, like, all these movies were just even more fun. Because you get to play with the toys, action figures, and stuff like that.
It was fun watching y'all get to use your imagination together and, really enjoy and try to reenact all those things. Like, that was fun.
Fun times. Good old times.
All right. Well, let's see here. We're going to stick with a little bit of old school. I'm going to kind of keep it. It's pretty much OG for me because I'm old. I'm going to go with the original 93 Ninja Turtles. I still will watch that today as a grown-ass man, and I will argue with people in the room, and if they don't want to watch it, they can leave.
I almost thought about putting it on my list. I had a feeling.
Because I made them watch it.
It's so amazing.
Not that they're bad movies, but like...
They're so funny, entertaining.
They're awesome. They're flawless. I mean, the fight scenes are even good, and they're in these styrofoam-looking padded turtle suits. But, I mean, when I was in school, in elementary school, and they said they were coming out with a Ninja Turtles movie, the next movie I'm going to bring up, after that relates to it. But, I mean, it's like, you almost want to shit your pants because you're like, you're serious. I'm getting that?
Ninja Turtles.
I get to have that. It's like, oh, my God. Like, So, yeah, man. And, just hearing, even to throw it into the animated series, when you hear that song, and it's just like, man, you suck right back into the old days.
It's awesome. I mean, that's awesome. That music is, anytime I hear it, no matter what iteration it is, I'm singing along.
You know the words.
Now I just thought of another one, a good one, Monster Squad. Such an awesome movie. Oh my God, when I hear people have never seen Monster Squad, Wolfman's got nards! He kicks Wolfman in the nuts, and then they get away. It's so cheesy, but it's the perfect type of cheesy.
It's 80s at its best.
And then you got Frankenstein. Like, it's all the classic monsters, but what a middle school kid thinks is going to actually happen.
Yeah, it's awesome. I tortured them, making them relive my 80s with me. It's
awesome.
Through certain movies. I'm glad y'all enjoyed them because, it helped me. But, oh, man, that's such a good one.
That movie's so good. That's you, me, and Hunter can all watch that. We watched it that one night, like a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And it's just so funny.
Such a good movie. It really is. I mean, it just...
It's also good. It's a good ending. That's the thing.
Yeah.
With
the Monster Squad. Yeah.
Good thing.
If you're into some throwback 80s movies you may have never seen, check Monster Squad out.
It's so good. You won't regret it, I'll tell you that.
Well, we're going to do another throwback, but I know everybody's heard of it. Same way I felt about when I heard I was going to get Ninja Turtles when I was a kid. When I heard in 1989 I was going to get a Batman movie.
Oh, yeah. I had 1989 Batman on here, too.
There again,
the iconic
oh my God, you're shitting yourself thinking I'm getting a real life Batman. A real Batman.
Because Adam West didn't count.
No, I know the TV show was good and all, but it was very cartoonish and it was of its time. And
you're like, that's what I expected, but then we see this.
Man, Michael Keaton. I'm sorry, it's a close with him and Bale. My favorite Batmans. It's like just because when I was a kid, that's what reintroduced me into loving comics was that
you're like,
okay,
it has more to it.
It can be more entertaining than just cartoonish.
You're like, have spots on it. Just what came to follow it. Oh my gosh.
Still enjoying it to this day.
Remember, have you seen all the interviews where they say he's going to be the worst Batman ever?
Oh, yeah.
And then it cuts back to them. They're like, it's really good.
No, this is unbelievable. He really pulled it off.
Michael Keaton.
He's an unbelievable actor. I mean, he's in some of the best movies I know.
A good one. I obviously, when it comes to superheroes, I had the first Spider-Man. Life-altering movie.
Yes, it was.
Definitely affected everything.
Yeah, it crawled in his brain for sure.
So now I'm stuck with all great.
Spidey eggs.
I love Spider-Man so much. Like, I think that was the first full superhero movie I watched.
It was.
That I can remember of.
It was. No, dude, it was.
So I mean, stuck in my brain to this day. I got all the Funko Pops you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Just as soon as I get like actual place, I mean, we're gonna have our stuff behind us. You're gonna see plenty of Spider-Man.
That's probably the most replaced DVD we have ever owned.
I don't know how, because he had the original 1, 2, and 3 bundle where it was like the mask on the outside.
Yep.
We love the movie so much we wouldn't play that one. We'd have a different one.
We bought other ones because I didn't want to touch it.
Because he still has. I don't know how it's made
like
it through almost 20 years.
Yeah.
That's how. It's so good.
Oh yes.
I
could see that one because
got me in everything.
Me knowing you as well as I do, you're my son. It's just like there were years where I think he legit thought that he could be Spider-Man. He was manifesting it. Like it was.
I was gonna be Spider-Man. I was like, I'm gonna do the work. I'm gonna get there one day.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Comics are a good thing. I mean, it shows you what it does to young imagination.
Oh,
it still affects us to this day in a great way.
Yeah.
Like I'm still learning stuff about Spider-Man. It's just like it's ever lasting change. It's like 99% good every time.
That's what's fun about comics. Always changing.
Always greatness.
Kind of in the comic book world, but this one is very, very near and dear to me. And I know there's so many people that are going to laugh at when I say this. But because of my age and when I grew up with some of the best cartoons ever created on the face of the earth and have never been rivaled since, and I'll argue anybody to that. One of my favorite cartoons of all time that they finally made into a live-action movie, Masters of the Universe, He-Man. Dolph Lundgren, this luscious blonde mullet, terribly swinging his sword. Nah, I don't, that movie just, so I wore out my VHS tape watching that one. Masters of the Universe, to see He-Man in live action. I was so pissed off that they didn't have Orko, but I understood because he's a floating wizard and, technology at the time.
Not very easy.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Other than that, you can kiss my rusty sheriff's badge. That is an awesome movie. Masters of the Universe.
Such a good movie.
Oh, man.
And then I think, what was that one year I got you all the He-Mans?
Yes. I have all the He-Mans animated series, too.
That was probably the best. You get some good Christmas gifts. We just give each other movies.
Yeah.
That's the best Christmas, because you can continue to use it anytime throughout the year.
But like we're trying to explain, is like that you get people movies that is going to touch them if they enjoy movies. And it's like every time you watch it, you just get to go back to what you used to feel.
Like every time I was saying Spider-Man, anytime I watch the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, it's just nice. It takes you back to the good days and you're just chilling.
I just hope you're not hopping around in a onesie in your apartment.
No,
when
no
nobody's
onesie.
Looking.
I got the jammies and white feeder. That's about it.
Because I do that.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Masters of the Universe.
A good one. It comes to cheesy is the Goosebumps movies, the little 30-minute movies.
Y'all wore those out.
Oh my gosh, me and Hunter,
geez.
we had the original set.
All of them.
Goosebumps. They were so cheesy. They were so just strange. It's like, how did these get approved? But it's like, it was a good way to make kids scared of certain things.
Yeah.
Don't be dumb. Don't just go into random houses and talk to old witches.
Yeah.
It's don't do that, or don't. The weirdest one was probably the model home, the model town.
Yeah.
And the kids got sucked into the model home or town. It's just, that one was insane. But those were so bizarre. I mean, just makes you wonder. It's when people write these less known writers. I mean, obviously he's well known now, but when those came out, I mean, you're like, where do you come up with this?
People were into it, man. It was popular, very, very popular.
It's just insane.
Everybody was into it. So I mean, keep writing. I mean, if they want to watch it and read it,
do what you can.
Because y'all had the books too, as well.
Yeah. Anytime the library let us rent them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Best believe we did.
Goosebumps. That's a good one.
That one and Diver Wimpy Kid. Those ones were good. The first
y'all were, you even had lunchbox, you had puzzles, you had everything for that.
I had the lunchbox puzzle.
And the books. Yeah, you had everything. Diver of a Wimpy Kid. Yeah, I remember you wearing that one out too.
That was a good time.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's a good time.
Good faces.
Speaking of a good time,
oh no,
let's talk about an unknown all-star cast at the time. A movie that made me truly think that I was Billy the Kid. Young Guns.
Yes.
And I'll even say Young Guns too. And if you want to argue about that in the comments, that's fine. I really enjoyed the second one too. I think Bon Jovi had a really hell of a soundtrack for the second one. But the first Young Guns.
Oh my god, such a good movie. He made it a part of my childhood, and I'm thankful for it. Such a good movie. I own that one on DVD. If I'm ever bored and I see that one, I'm like, yeah,
I'll watch it. Regulators.
best
When they all eat, drink the peyote and get all high up in the mountains, and they got funny voices, and one's trying to read poetry, the other one's trying to shoot an invisible chicken, and the other one's just throwing up because he's hungover. And yeah, it's but Young Guns, man, when I was a kid, that came out, I wanted to learn how to do fast draw so bad.
Yes.
That, made my grandmother take me to Walmart, and I bought the toy gun set that had the holsters, and I sat there in my room and literally practiced doing quick draw as a kid. And if I don't mind saying so, I was pretty good. I was pretty good at that. I thought I was Billy the Kid there for a few years, but yeah, man, Young Guns, anytime it comes on, Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, Dermot Mulroney, Jack Pants.
Amazing actors.
Jeez, I mean, it was a great cast, and they were all so young. And yes, they were up and coming. People knew who they were, but I think that one really showed that, they had a little bit more range than just being teen heartthrobs.
Yeah.
It was good, man. I love that movie. I still watch it every day if I could.
It makes every little kid want to be a cowboy.
Heck yeah, man.
One of the ones that did that for me, I just remember Cowboys versus Aliens.
Oh yeah.
Such a cheesy movie, but oh my, that was so awesome.
It's cheesy, but it's fun.
The laser, because it was stuck on his wrist, he couldn't get it off.
Yeah.
It was such a simple complex, but they just made it cool by making it a western.
Yeah.
Like a true western and stuff like that. It was cool to see that.
It really was, because it was a strange dynamic, Cowboys versus aliens. It's like.
And the aliens look good too.
Surprisingly, compared to most alien movies, and they screw it up.
You're like,
okay, that wasn't really scary looking.
Can we get these people on more studio jobs? It's like, what are we doing?
That guy's holding out.
Yeah, probably made good money off that one, but that one's a fun one to watch. I really like that one. I just remember that one off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That one's fun. That gets you into wanting to be, but the fun side of Cowboys, like what if it happened now?
Mm-hmm.
That's what would happen.
Yeah,
it's just cool. I like that one.
What else you got over there?
Let's see. I got a few good ones. I got the Michael Bay Transformers. We've talked about that before. How much those impacted. That's why I drive the car I drive.
Wish
today.
I had those when I was a kid, because I loved the cartoons.
I mean, Bumblebee's always been my favorite. Every toy I had to have Bumblebee, and even the tiniest little toy car. I was just Bumblebee, bro.
Roll out.
I don't know. He's always just the coolest. Optimus Prime is a good second though.
Man, that Transformers is awesome, and I really loved the Michael Bay one. They're
fun.
Some people didn't, and it's like, why? I thought they did great.
It's not supposed to be serious movies.
No, it's based off of a damn cartoon. This is clearly fantasy. You're supposed to just enjoy it.
Those are awesome. I love those so much.
I mean, it was good writing too. The writing was good. The action sequences were good.
I just watch them now to see how cool the robots look.
Yeah.
Because the story's never gonna make sense again. It'll never make sense, but it's fun to see what they come up with.
The different cool cars they would be bringing in for the
Like when they had the T-Rex one.
Oh man.
That one made no sense, but it was just cool to see a robot.
It was cool to see a robot T-Rex.
The big one. What do you got? I want to hear what you got.
Let's see. Where do I want to hit next? Because they're all old, but I'm trying to kind of, Okay. So these next movies, once again, transitioned my life into being from a cowboy into a hockey player. The Mighty Ducks.
Yes.
Emilio Estevez is an 80s and early 90s god when it comes to, movies, in my opinion. He was just everywhere, but everything he touched was good, in my opinion. And I loved the Mighty Ducks. I saw all three of them in the theaters. Ain't got no shame in my game admitting that.
Awesome. All three of them were great.
I thought they were great stories, and just anytime you hear that music that they play in that movie, and just, it's a great movie to watch with family. It's uplifting. Mm-hmm. It teaches you lessons, They're, again, some of the best kid actors probably in a franchise.
Oh, yeah.
And they kept most of them throughout. But, yeah, man, Mighty Ducks. I'll watch those any day of the week.
Those are awesome. That made me think of Encino Man. Such a fun movie.
Buddy.
Such a good movie. It's just, it makes no sense whatsoever.
No,
Somehow
zero.
a caveman is still frozen and they find him, thaw him out, and he's their new buddy.
Yeah, and he lives. Somehow he survived that.
It
Yeah,
was just, it's fun. It's clearly late 80s.
You gotta love the 90s.
So,
You gotta love the 90s.
I don't know, that one, I thought about that one, but also, what I was originally going to say was the G.I. Joe movies.
The ones you had, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now that I watch them now, the story's bad, but as a kid, Snake Eyes will always be my favorite G.I. Joe character, without a shadow of a doubt.
He was probably the only good part in either movie.
Because he was actually...
Him and Storm Shadow.
Because they were accurate, yeah. The fights they had, oh my
man.
God.
That's what I'm saying.
Fights,
like, they were the only good parts of either movie, truly. I was actually referencing the second one the other day because my nephew asked why I don't go online and play Call of Duty with them when they do their little group play. And I said, well, no, I'm terrible with those games. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, have you ever seen the second G.I. Joe movie, Retaliation? And he goes, no. I said, well, there's a scene where Channing Tatum is trying to play the Rock, and he's just like spinning around in a circle doing this because he doesn't understand the controls. That's me. I can't play those games, but it's funny you brought that up because I referenced that
those
like 2 days ago.
Those movies are so awesome. I mean, Snake Eyes, I used to have the helmet.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Oh,
and the swords. You used to beat the crap out of me with the swords.
Hey, you asked for it. You asked for it.
Everybody had fun. That's all that matters.
No, those ones are just fun. I mean,
they're visually fun to watch.
They're entertaining.
There again, it's based off of a cartoon. You can't really take it too serious.
No. All those cartoons where it's like the anime shooting ones, those were also like bizarre, but it's just like they're fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's why Ninja Turtles is so fun. Stuff like that. It's awesome. I don't know. G.I. Joe's is a good one for me.
Let's see here. Trying to think where I want to go next with this because I'm kind of getting to where I'm getting a little bit older, starting to get influenced by other people. I had 2 older sisters, and so the next one I'm going to bring up is probably a good one for memory because the first time I got introduced to this movie, we used to drive up to Longview, Texas to visit my grandparents, typically on holidays, once during the summer, just because it was such a far drive. And they're old people, so they only have like 8, 9 movies.
Yeah, they're all the oldest ones possible.
And it's not movies most kids want to watch. But I had 2 older sisters, and they saw the movie Fried Green Tomatoes. Okay. There's a reason you haven't seen it. Yeah, trust me. But the reason I bring that movie up is because it's not a typical movie you're going to hear a grown man talk about that when he sees it, it brings back memories. But for me, even though my sisters basically tortured me between that movie, Dirty Dancing.
Oh, gosh.
And I might as well say it now because it's the one right under it, A League of Their Own. Although I think A League of Their Own is a little bit better. Yeah. Fried Green Tomatoes, anytime it's on, I instantly flash back to when I was a child in Longview, Texas, and it was either watch Fried Green Tomatoes, okay, the Godfather movies
as a kid,
or the complete collection, which I do have now, of the Dean Martin Variety Hour.
Not a good selection.
That or the 3 access channels because they lived out in the middle of nowhere. So, but anytime I see Fried Green Tomatoes, and it actually is a good movie, it's kind of a chick flick, but there's a good story to it, and there's a lot of things that are actually entertaining, and a lot of good actors are in it. It's a really good watch. Kathy Bates, Oscar-winning actors are in it, so it can't be that bad. But yeah, it's just one of those. When I see it, it's kind of like Golden Girls. I think of my grandmother when I hear that song. It's like, you don't really have to be that big of a fan of it, but it can still draw a memory, something that you hold dear to you. And those are a couple of those cheesy chick flick movies that, as soon as they come on, I instantly think of a certain person. And I think that's awesome.
A big one that does that for me is, remember when Poppin got the 3D glasses for the first time?
Oh, yeah.
And then first movie we watched was Avatar.
Yes.
So anytime I watch, that's the only reason I watch Avatar is just because it was cool for me and Hunter to watch that for 3D at home.
Yeah.
On TV.
Still got the 3D TV, by the way.
So it was so cool because that was the first time they really did it like that.
Yeah.
And Pop got it, and we watched those. So that's a good one.
Man.
Brings back the good memories of being like Avatar in 3D, womps on the couch, Next to Brutus.
Next to
Good
Brutus. One of the best dogs ever.
Probably eating candy when I wasn't supposed to, but who knows?
I'm sure you were.
They used to
I'm
spoil
sure
us.
you were.
Me and Hunter used to get all the candy.
You're such a turd.
Perks of being the favorite, I guess.
Well, a couple of these other ones I'm going to name off. I might just lump one of them together. I just might do one of them right now.
Okay.
So he was just talking about with Pop, his grandfather, my dad. He was a big influence on me as well with movies, and whether it's unbeknownst to my mother or not, or whether she just didn't care, he let me watch several movies that I probably shouldn't have watched. But I've always been a little bit mature for my age, even though I'm a little bit of a goofball. I know how to compose myself. One of them in particular, Big Trouble in Little China. Okay. If you have not ever seen Big Trouble in Little China, Kurt Russell in his prime. Okay. And this is one of the funny, it's up there with Ghostbusters when you talk about science fiction, action, love story, comedy. It has literally everything in it. And it's just one of those where it opened my eyes to a lot of things where it's like, okay, the horror can be a little bit goofy sometimes, but if you keep it goofy, don't try to go back to being scary like in some of those terrible horror movies. But Big Trouble in Little China, man, I'll watch that every day of the week.
Oh yeah.
The scene where he's trying to be a badass and he comes in with the Uzi and he shoots it in the air to scare everybody, and then the rocks just fall and he knocks himself out. And misses the whole fight in the movie.
Just messed it up.
That's hilarious. I love that movie, and my sister's there too. Anytime that's on, so you got to stop and watch it.
Yeah. The good one from my childhood is Scooby-Doo.
The Matthew Lillard Scooby-Doos, yeah.
The 2 live action ones. Oh my god.
Yeah, you got lucky
awesome.
with some of those.
Me and Hunter loved those. Even Levi and Lane liked them.
First couple were really good. I mean, even adults were enjoying them.
Like the 2 with Matthew Lillard. I mean, those are so funny. It's like
he did a great Shaggy.
And then they're drinking all the potions. Their bodies keep changing. He becomes all buff.
I forgot about that part. You watched it clearly way more than I did. But yeah, that one.
Because they're on the haunted island.
Yeah.
All the little demon dogs or whatever.
Those demon hounds, yeah. Mr. Bean was the guy running the whole thing.
We got, what's his name? The tiny
Scrappy Doo.
Scrappy Doo.
I went Scrappy Doo for Halloween one year.
That was really fun though, just to see that in live action, because it's the one thing you don't expect to ever see in live action.
No,
because it's a talking dog.
They did a good job with the cast because everybody really did look and fit the role well.
Perfect.
That's where it was a child's movie, but at least they did it well.
They did it proper.
Yeah, I thought it was good. That's a good one.
It's good when all all the actors are like, yeah, I love those movies.
Yeah.
They all love it because it's you can tell they had a fun time. It's a kids movie, so you get to have fun. It's nothing serious.
Don't take yourself too serious.
That was awesome to see that.
It's a good one.
Scooby-Doo, great time.
Get out of there. All right. Let's see, which one do I want to hit next? Okay. I was watching this one the other day with my mother. Not just because of Halloween, but just because in general, it's one of her favorites as well. Oh, man, I miss the 80s so much. The Lost Boys.
Great movie.
Man, if you ever want to see a really cool vampire movie that don't even have to think about it, man. Just watch it. It's fun.
Just
Lost
go
Boys.
in and watch there. Because me and him both really like the concept of vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dracula Untold, one of our favorite ones to watch.
Yes.
The Lost Boys. It's just, you go in there and it's just perfect for what the theme is. It fits it perfect. There's nothing that stands out in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because they're not showing off too much that they're vampires.
No.
They don't want to do it. They're adapting to everything.
Yeah.
They're not all rich, high billionaires.
No, they did it clever with that one.
They're vampires. They're not all humans, so they're not going to live like us.
Nope.
They're sleeping in a little cave like bats.
Yeah.
So that one was awesome. It was perfect for a vampire movie based in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And then Dracula Untold is just...
I mean, that one's a great origin story.
If you've never seen Dracula Untold, phenomenal. Almost got me writing. That's how good it was.
It was really good. I still watch it.
Anytime I get a chance.
Anytime it comes on.
Phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, watch it. it's worth it.
There you go.
Lost Boys is a good one.
Oh, Death by Stereo. Just the fashion, the style of the whole movie. It's flashy. It's cool.
It's great.
When you were a kid, you wanted to be like Kiefer Sutherland. I wanted one of the dirt bikes so bad that he had in that movie. Just wanted to be a vampire because of that.
Gives you any reason to be, because they were cool.
Yeah.
You're like, you've never seen a cool version of vampires.
No, not like awesome. That. What do you got?
I got a good one for you. We watched it not that long ago. Real Steel.
That's a good one.
It's a cheesy movie, but it's got so many good messages in it.
It's a good movie.
It's a great redemption movie for Hugh Jackman, because he plays basically a runaway dad. Didn't want anything to do with the kid.
Yeah.
10 years later, the mom dies, so he has to take him over as he's boxing with robots. So the fun idea of humans can never box again.
Yeah.
So now we got these 10-foot tall robots throwing knuckles at each other. It's like concept that is so bizarre.
Some of the craziest looking robots too.
They had some cool looking ones, like the double-headed one.
Yeah.
And the graphics were good.
I thought they did pretty good. It didn't look too...
What? Graphics phenomenal. Like, you have robots, and then Adam, the main one, can shadow you.
That was so cool.
That concept is awesome.
To me, that was much more fun because there again, I'm the old guy in the room. I ain't so good with the remote controls, but if I can just show you what the hell I want you to do and you just mimic it,
you're good.
We're going to get through this a lot easier. So I thought that was so cool.
He's out there just shadow boxing.
Yeah. Him and the kid dancing on the way to the ring.
Those are funny. I remember watching that when I was young. That was just awesome.
Oh, you loved that one. I didn't even remember like the commercials and stuff for it.
No.
And then all of a sudden you wanted to watch it. And I said, okay. And then,
awesome movie.
That was over.
No, a lot of good ones in my time.
Yeah, you did. Y'all were pretty lucky. Y'all had some good ones. Well, I'm going to kind of go into some comedies here because...
A lot of comedies.
I'm a big, like I said, I'm a goofball. But one of the first ones I remember really getting into, The Three Amigos. Okay, if you've not seen it, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, Martin Short. And that is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I don't know if you can consider yourself a comedy fan and have never seen it.
It's awesome.
But you need to go and find that one, watch that. The Three Amigos. That is just, oh man, you talk about a classic comedy. That is right up there. Used to love watching that one. And there again, that was at the time when like Young Guns had come out, so I'd sit there and play like I was one of the Three Amigos. I'd have my little toy gun.
The movie's so good.
But that reminds me of my sisters because we always watched that one together.
That movie's really good. That made me think of all the SNL movies, and then I got thinking of Jim Carrey. Mm-hmm. The Mask and Dumb and Dumber, those two.
Yeah, I was going to get to those momentarily, yeah.
But, The Mask, Hunter watched that one so many times.
Oh, dude. It
was so awesome.
How
as a kid,
not?
It's a guy who's basically a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like all those movies where it was like the perfect mix.
Yeah.
Between cartoons and real life.
Well, and Jim Carrey's part cartoon anyway.
So why not be awesome at it? Like, and also, if you haven't seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit, oh my God, watch that. When he showed me that movie, it's like, yeah, I love this.
I saw that in the theaters when it came out. Yes, that's how old I am.
But
that one right there. But yes, I was gonna say because I was lucky. Jim Carrey was a huge influence on me as a child. I used to annoy the hell out of my sisters with my Ace Ventura stuff, and that's where I'm going with it because I was lucky to get Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber all in 1 year.
He did the three, almost arguably some of his best movies.
Oh, easily. And it's just, I watch them any day of the week, especially Ace Ventura. I think it's highly underrated.
Oh, it's amazing.
To see what he does with his body and really turns what is just a nonsense character into an iconic, just legendary character.
Like Ace Ventura, oh my gosh, I remember watching that. And then the dog's in the car and he pulls out the dog bowl.
Got the dog bowl
out of the car, like it's a
hungry little fella.
It's like, who comes up with these?
Jim Carrey, and there's the thing is like that's why his movies are so good because it's so him. He ad-libs everything.
just bizarre in his own special way. Like the
Yes.
whole opening Ace Ventura is awesome.
Kicking
He has
the package around.
just kicking it around the hallway, throwing it at walls.
HDS, people. Yeah. I won't go verbatim because I can say the whole movie verbatim, but
So good.
man.
I mean, anything he's ever touched, it's just
all
those movies are so good.
Kind of like you said with The Mask, Ace Ventura was that for me. Like that kick-started my Jim Carrey freaking bromance.
And then you had Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Where he's crying so hard he starts gagging.
Yeah.
And his chipped tooth, which is his real tooth, which is awesome. That the fact that he took out his fake tooth.
Everybody thought they did that on purpose. He's like, no, that's me.
It's my tooth. No, that one's just those three.
That's a good one. I really liked.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then he went on to do so many, like he's just
dude,
one of the greatest.
Kept going. Truman Show, all of them.
Amazing.
What else you got over there? I kind of walked in on that one.
I got the Fantastic Four. That was one of them.
Yeah, it was even a little bit nostalgic for me.
Fantastic Four was a big one. I also have Shark Tales on here.
Yeah, I remember y'all watching that one. That's when y'all got into Bob Marley, baby. Yeah.
That was awesome. The two jellyfish.
I got my boys into some Bob Marley when they watched that one. They're like, Dad, this is really good music. I'm like, that's Bob Marley. Would you like to hear some more? And they're like,
and it was great. Now, one of the many voices, I know Hunter really likes to listen to Bob Marley. But Shark Tales was just so fun. It's like as a kid, you're like, what do fish do?
Yeah.
And this is the most obscure, never possible, like, fish running their own world like we do up here.
He works at a car wash in the ocean.
For whales.
For whales.
And it's like, that would never happen, but it was such a fun idea. It was just awesome to see that.
Yeah.
I really like that one.
That was a good one. So, let's see here. I'm gonna lump a few of them together here. So, there's a few that I would watch, like, with my sisters. And, they would always just, had to watch it. La Bamba.
Good one.
If you have never seen La Bamba, you're missing out. Howard the Duck.
Awesome movie.
One of my first introductions into Marvel without realizing it.
That's true.
Breakfast Club.
Oh, Breakfast Club, yeah. I mean, one of my favorites of all time.
How can you not like the Breakfast Club?
I love it so much.
The Brat Pack. I mean, come on.
Especially since I wrestled in high school, there was a wrestler. So that made me love it even more after I started wrestling. And that movie's so awesome to see all the random misfits possible in high school. All the stereotypes.
Yep.
What would it be like if they hung out in detention over the weekend?
Pretty much exactly what happened. I think that's what was great, is because I understand those actors were playing characters, but if you really look at the actors, they really were those characters. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why John Hughes specifically went for them, because, each person really kind of fit that character perfectly, to where it was like, that's probably how the interaction would have went down, with Judd Nelson being a total dick to everybody, picking on the nerd the whole time, and then the jock has to stand in, and then, the princess has to get involved, and Basket Case, she's just sitting back there doing nothing.
Just random stuff.
But dude, Breakfast Club, oh my God. And the music, and to see there's another one with some of those movies, like with La Bamba, one of the best soundtracks ever. If you like old school music from the 50s, 60s, La Bamba, the story of Richie Valens. I mean, it's just, love that movie. Ugh. I could keep going on that shit alone.
Walk the Line was probably my version of La Bamba. Because I watched that one at a good age when I was young.
Yeah.
Walk the Line. I mean, such a dark start of how his life was. How it was almost nothing. Because all they did was just work on the farm.
Yeah.
And then he became one of the most known to this day, greatest of all time.
Johnny
Cash. I mean, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix, what he did, amazing.
Oh, I couldn't believe that he was able to pull off singing like him, learn to play the guitar, did all that live.
He's a good actor.
Unbelievable. A lot of respect there for that one.
Then you had Ray the same year.
Oh, Ray. Yeah, Jamie Foxx.
I watched that one later. I didn't watch that one as soon as I watched Walk the Line.
Got an Oscar for it. Must have done something right.
He did a good job. I would say so myself.
Yeah. All right. What else you got? Did you already kind of tap out on there?
I got one more. It's an animated one.
All
it's
right.
Cars.
Cars. Oh, yeah.
Life is a Highway, one of the most known songs of all time.
Yeah, he loved that one.
Lightning McQueen. Now they got Skechers, Crocs. They got everything for this guy.
Everything. Everything cars. Tow
Iconic.
Mater.
Still one of the most questioned movies of all time. How did they have buildings if they're cars? One of the most asked questions I think I've ever seen.
Who built it?
Who built it? How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know how that
They're
actually
vehicles
works.
that are alive.
I don't know how that would actually work.
But it's such a simple concept, and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Because you had like this shows like Thomas the Train where it's like it's too goofy. You're like, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
And then you have cars come on. They're racing cars that can talk. That's awesome. That made you want to get into it even more.
The first one was good.
The second one was alright.
Yeah. That's usually how it works, though. They just need to stick with one.
They get out of there. I don't know. I think that's my last movie. I got all the good ones out there now. You got some good ones in there.
I got some good ones. I got a couple more I'm gonna do.
Okay.
This first one, I will say, I'm gonna bring it up, but I have been heartbroken lately because I have come to find out that one of my favorite movies of all time, ever, is apparently a lie. And I hope there's no truth to it, but apparently there's a lot of people coming out about it, so apparently it is. One of my favorite movies ever, and just hearing the music from the movie will almost bring me to tears sometimes, but Rudy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the greatest stories ever told. And come to find out that it might have not even really been that way.
It was all.
That's heartbreaking, man. I really didn't want to bring that one up because of that, but I kind of had to because it's such a good movie. Sean Astin does such a great job in that one. Jon Favreau when he was very young, a young Vince Vaughn. Great movie all around. Make a grown man cry.
It's a good movie. It's one of those sports movies.
Run around the stadium because his daddy said he couldn't play football good. And
it's unbelievable.
But another one I got because one's near and dear.
You made me think of a sports one after you go.
Okay. This one's near and dear to me because it introduced me to darker comedy. It introduced me to people such as Gene Wilder, Mel Brooks, and that is the original Willy Wonka. I love that movie. Oh, I love that movie. I will watch that right now if we were okay with stopping this. I'd go in there and turn it on right now. I got the DVD. There's nothing absolutely wrong with that movie at all. Gene Wilder is perfect in it.
It works. It makes sense.
It's such a good movie.
I love that movie.
That whole sequence where he's singing as he brings them into the chocolate factory the first time.
Such a good
scene. I won't bore y'all with me singing it because I can't help myself when the movie comes on. I still sing it.
It's such a good movie. You made me think when you were bringing up Rudy. I thought of The Sandlot.
Oh,
me and Hunter watched that one so much. We had to get so many copies. We even watched all the spin-off movies that were not good at all, but we still watched them. Because we grew up playing baseball. Yep. That's every kid's dream. Is you and your buddies are on just a random field playing baseball.
Yeah.
That's life. That young of an age, that was such an awesome movie.
That's a good one.
That's the reason I think every boy in our family has played baseball.
Yes.
So I mean,
kind of
me,
a gene
Hunter,
pool kind
the
of
two
thing.
younger cousins, baseball continued to go down the line, still in the family.
Mm-hmm.
It's baseball is such a great sport.
Yeah.
It's looked down upon, but it's a more unique of a game. It's so obscure, but I mean, it makes sense once you start at such a young age, and you see that in the Sandlot, which makes it more fun.
It does.
You just play in the dirt, you slide around, you pitch until day's end, and then you wake up, do it again.
Yep. Go camping with your buddies in the backyard, make some s'mores.
You want s'more? I already had some.
Yeah. How can I have some if I haven't had any?
Some more of what?
Some more of what?
Do you want one of the best things? And then the dog, the whole time, is seeing this big monster.
Yeah.
Just, good ending, too. The dog starts chasing him. Oh, my gosh. You go on for hours about that movie. It's so good.
That's a good movie. Everybody loves that movie. That's a great thing about it. It's very generational. It goes a lot of ways.
There's a lot of...
Well, I think I can lump up my last few kind of together, one little category.
Okay.
Because everybody, if they've watched enough, knows I'm a horror movie fanatic. I watch those year-round, even during Christmas. Not the Christmas ones, though. It's sacrilegious. Just regular horror movies. But I'm going to start with the one that my memory serves me correctly was the one that really got me into horror movies, and then I snowballed from there.
Yeah.
Now, pay attention. I said it's the one that I watched first. That doesn't mean it came out first. So I know I'm going to be chronologically incorrect, but this is how I watched them in order because of this movie right here. And once again, my dad letting me watch something I probably shouldn't have. Army of Darkness, okay?
It's a good first one to watch.
I love that movie so much. Gets his hand cut off, has to use a chainsaw as his new hand. But Bruce Campbell is one of my heroes because he's so cool, but he's such a dick while being cool.
Even in Spider-Man.
You know, when he pulls the girl, give me some sugar, baby. You know, just the way he talks, just the way he moves. He's so confident, even though he's a goober.
Yeah.
But he's so well animated in the way that he acts in that movie. But it's supposed to be a horror movie, but it is a little goofy. But because I saw that, I went, okay, horror's not that scary if you just don't let it scare you.
Yeah.
So then I ventured into Jaws.
Yeah. Phenomenal movie.
The original 76 Halloween. The first Nightmare on Elm Street.
There you go.
And then, because I was lucky enough and they put it out on TV as a miniseries, the original It.
Yeah. Bizarre.
And that's what hooked me into Stephen King. And it was because I had heard my dad and my mom say, well, yeah, this is good, but it's not as good as the book because they had read the book. And so I was like, what do you mean? And they said, well, this is based off of a book by Stephen King. Huh. Okay. And then I went down that rabbit hole the rest of my life, reading all the books, owning all the movies.
Green Mile.
Love all of the adaptations. Like I've said before, I don't care how cheesy and how terrible some people think they are.
Awesome.
I have enjoyed every single Stephen King adaptation just because it's a representation of something I enjoy. It might be not as good as the other ones, but I'll still watch it. But the original It, oh my God. Tim Curry is Pennywise.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You know, beep, beep, Richie, beep, beep. You know, just him creeping you out with that big old white head.
He was scary for what time it was, like, and everything like that.
Actually, I did think of one more. Just because I pester my kids so bad with this movie. Because they'll be scrolling trying to pick a film to watch as a family. And for some reason, Bloodsport always pops up on there. And I'm always trying to get them to watch it because I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. When I grew up, I used to want to be at the Kumite. I wanted to be in the fight. I wanted to fight Jean-Claude Van Damme. But I always try to get them to watch it. I'm like, come on, just click on that one. It'll be fun. It's only an hour and a half long. But Bloodsport, man, anytime, you know, I see a UFC fight, I'll get this Kumite, Kumite, Kumite. Like, that's all I can think of is Bloodsport because Jean-Claude Van Damme. So that one kind of ruined me.
Oh,
but
my Lord. That one is...
Bloodsport, baby.
That's
if you
great.
ain't seen it, go watch it. You might laugh more than you'll actually think it's a good movie, but it's fun. It's fun.
It's one of those movies. You got to have fun.
Yeah.
You got to do it. But
Well, I think that was all the movies I kind of
yeah.
had.
Good childhood from both of us.
What do you think about doing an episode where we do some TV shows and stuff like that? Old
TV
shows
shows.
you used to watch.
TV shows, I mean, we got plenty of those.
I think there's plenty of those.
But if you want to get into music, we can get right in there.
Let's get in there.
So for music, I mean, I just listed bands just because we listened to a lot of music growing up,
Yeah.
thankfully. So we'll go like by genres. I mean, we'll get into grunge. You got Pearl Jam. Well, what you would play in the car most likely when we went to sports would be like Pearl Jam, Metallica, Creed, Three Doors Down, just a mix of all of it.
Yeah.
Just because it was good pump-up music.
Yeah.
Like
Get you
you're on the
going.
way,
Get
listen
you all
to
pissed off where you go on the
Metallica.
field. Yeah.
And you got Kryptonite coming on.
Anything to get your blood pumping, you know?
Get you going. That's like all the jokes about kids going home with their dad playing Creed. It's like, well, it was good.
It was good.
It was
Some
awesome.
of it. Some
least
of
in
them
the
were a
car.
little, you know.
At
Yeah.
least in the car, it was good.
With the windows up so the other cars couldn't hear you listening to Scott Stapp, but it's, you know, it's fine.
No, it was good. That's a big factor. Both me and Hunter, it was really those
Yeah.
genres of mixture between grunge and rock, and just
Yeah.
figuring out like that's when they were starting off in all these different genres, just expanding.
Oh, very much. I'm just glad y'all took to it because
Green Day.
not a lot of people do, and you know, it's something I was hoping y'all would enjoy that I shared with you.
No, I mean we enjoyed it through and through without a doubt.
You know, I'm sure. Because y'all still do. You know,
Yeah.
Your brother almost ruined Nirvana for me.
Yeah, close.
He got to playing that album just a little bit too much.
You're like, we heard it 8 times today.
Yeah, we need to let this go for a week, buddy.
He did that with a few of them. He got carried away.
See, with me, I kind of went in a direction. What I kind of did with my movies, where I went kind of like my youngest memories on ish, just to kind of help me, keep me in line. But some of the first music I ever heard, and still to this day brings back some of my oldest memories, is gospel music, because my grandparents that helped raise me with my mother and my dad. My grandmother was a big time church going, God fearing woman, and whether she was just singing it or playing it on the radio, whether it be the Kyle sisters or whoever, of course, going to church every Sunday and learning all the hymnals, I can still sing them all. But gospel music, anytime I hear it, she's in my brain. And that was some of the first music I truly remember hearing, and the harmonizing and how beautiful it sounded. I may not have been old enough to understand the point they were trying to get across, but I understood the beauty and how it sounded, and it made me feel good.
It does.
I gotta
Gospel
say,
music's great.
Gospel music, you just listen to it. You don't have to think too deep. Just listen to it. It's good.
Yeah, no, it's phenomenal. You let me grow up listening to George Strait.
Yeah.
So anytime I think of George Strait, um, Amen. All those songs.
Oh man, yeah.
Love You, everything like
Love
that.
Without End, Amen.
Yeah. Great song. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
No doubt. But George Strait, growing up on the weekends, a lot of time was country.
Yeah.
Let go for the weekend. Usually play country.
Yeah, we'd have country during the day and kind of relax, and then of course once it got a little later in the day, it got a little louder, a little harder, a little faster. But definitely got to, country's. That's what I like about country. It's a good, easy going. Everybody can enjoy it if you're just trying to get
Kinda
through the,
sit back.
Yeah.
It's always been great. A great part of me and Hunter's childhood was all that.
Yeah.
And one of the best parts was Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, that was going to be one of mine I brought up.
We both grew up with Sinatra.
Yeah.
He given me almost all his songs on record.
Yeah.
Already. So as well as Johnny Cash, Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
All those classicals.
You got to know the classics to enjoy the modern, in my opinion.
Exactly.
It's
got a good mixture.
I was gonna wait, but we can just hit Sinatra while we're already on it instead of skipping back to him later. But my grandfather, he used to play in the Boston Orchestra, so him being a musician back from the 30s until pretty much until he passed, because once you're a musician, you're always a musician. But he loved Frank Sinatra. He loved his voice, and who didn't? He had such a boisterous voice, but the way he could sing, man, you felt it when he was singing.
Frank Sinatra's just great. Phenomenal. Any given moment I can put that on.
I still listen to it frequently. My daughter likes to dance with me a little bit if I put on the right ones, like My Funny Valentine and certain slower ones. Of course, everybody knows the usuals: New York, New York, My Way. Man, if you want to hear some pure talent that needs no music around him other than him singing, listen to Frank Sinatra.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Changed my life. It really did. That sent me on a course of listening to music like Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Mel Torme, Harry Connick Jr. It opened my eyes to a whole new world of music when I first heard Frank Sinatra.
You're like, there's some soul in here.
Deep soul. Much like you when you really first started listening to Elvis.
Yeah, finally, it's like actually listen to it. It's like he didn't write his songs, but some people are better singing than writing.
Yeah.
He had that God-given right. He was just.
But he sang the songs he felt. That's why they were so emotional and so
that's
good.
That's why, If I Can Dream, my favorite song. the emotion he put behind that one.
Yeah.
Just because it was a desperate time in the world, and he thought there's one way to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah. Makes you feel it.
I don't know, those old souls, they did really good. We get some every so often. My
old soul's getting a little chilly. I'm gonna put my little jacket on.
It's getting a little chilly. I don't know, for my next one, probably have to go good old Foo Fighters.
Good old Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl.
Amazing. Foo Fighters. Wow. Oops, forgot how to speak. Nirvana and Foo Fighters. Basically, me and Hunter listened at the same time because you had to wait. Me and Hunter got run away.
Yeah. I got lucky. I had Nirvana long before y'all were even a thought.
Yeah.
I honestly say I was lucky. I grew up in the greatest generation of music because I know some people will say that that would be the 70s, but it's like, well, kindly, sir, let me argue that. Yes, you got to live through that, but I get your anthology. I get to listen to what you lived through, but now I get to live through the 80s and 90s through all that awesome music.
Yeah.
And,
You get double.
you know, because the generation before me is like, once the 70s were over, it's like, they're like, nah. That music's not any good. Unless their bands were still alive. That's why you see so many of those people still supporting the Rolling Stones and stuff, because they just won't let it go, man.
Just let it go.
But yeah, Rolling Stones, sorry. Ugh.
They're terrible.
Not a huge fan. Not a huge fan.
No, I mean, I loved all those. I mean, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, all those, Motley Crue, AC/DC.
I really polluted your brain, didn't I?
A big one is Linkin Park.
Yeah, I kind of turned y'all on with some Linkin Park, and that's when y'all went down that new metal.
Slipknot eventually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But Linkin Park, I mean, the most iconic ending to a movie, all the jokes people make about the Transformers ending with What I've Done.
Yeah.
All the memes that come from it, because it's just perfect. But that one's a good one. I really like
But
Linkin
there
Park.
again, that song with that movie, both of them iconic in your childhood because it's one of your favorite songs and one of your favorite movies about one of your favorite characters, Bumblebee. Like, that's, you got a freaking trifecta there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Three out of three right there.
You know?
Well, yeah, that was just amazing.
That's pretty good. See, for me, you know, I've always been kind of partial. I'm going to say the genre and then I'll name some bands.
Okay.
Okay, and this does tell my age. I'm a hair metal guy. You talk about Bon Jovi, Poison, Def Leppard, Twisted Sister. You talk about all those bands, Extreme, Nelson Twins. Good Lord, I could keep going and going and going, mainly because there was about 100 of them that came out back then. But there's something about hair metal, or as the guitarist from Black Label Society calls them, teeth bands, because all they do is smile. You know, it was always uplifting hardcore metal music. You know, it was fast, it was, but it was, never really negative, so it was easy for younger audiences to get into, plus all the colors with the neons and the hair up and everything.
They just stood out.
And that there was so many bands, like there were so many options to listen to. Hair metal forever will be special to me because there again, my two older sisters, like we would put on like music videos.
Yeah.
You know, we'd have that stuff cranking in the house, be air guitaring like there's no tomorrow. Poison's probably my favorite hair metal band. And then I'd probably lean into like Motley Crue, Def Leppard, but man, you put on some Poison.
It's crazy how one genre, because a lot of the music I listen to now is a lot slower. Because growing up, we listen to a lot of good slower music. My most well-known first time ever hearing a song is More Than Words by Extreme. That was the first song that he taught me how to actually sing along rather than just yell.
Yeah.
So we sat down on the couch and we were listening to it, and he was just kind of teaching me to go with the rhythm. So that's the first time I went through with a slow song. It's like sometimes you just need to sit back, kind of just
listen,
go with it,
be part of it.
So that's why obviously we're so big, Frank Sinatra, Johnny Cash, Elvis, all of those, because the slower music, I mean, just if it's done right, it's soul music. It just goes in the soul.
But in the same vein, I tried to teach y'all as well, because there's other types of music where there is singing, but then there's also all the musical interludes, and when you really want to listen to a good band, Pink Floyd is just ideal for that.
Amazing.
Because they do sing, but it's what happens in between the singing that's almost more iconic than the singing.
It's like, what's going on here?
With, phenomenal. Roger Waters and David Gilmour, the way they could play the guitars and the way they could put together a show, I mean, it was just...
I have Pink Floyd on here.
I got it too.
I knew
Pink
you
Floyd, man, that one, man.
I knew you bring that one up. That was such an iconic song.
They will be played at my funeral. Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here.
Yes.
Yep.
A good one that you introduced me, Hunter, at a good age was the Beatles.
Yeah, baby.
Taught us young, before all these people thought they were cool in high school. We've been knowing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I made sure people knew I knew the Beatles. They're just that good.
How can you not know the Beatles if you enjoy music? And see, that's the thing that kills me. People say they like music, but then they only like one type of music.
You gotta.
Why can't you enjoy every facet of music? I even enjoy classical music. Doesn't even have to have lyrics. It's more during the holidays, but still, it's just like, why can't you just enjoy different types of music?
I mean, people were like, they were confused because it went from a Beatles song in my playlist to like an Alice in Chains, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
So they're like, what do you? I was like, well, I mean, I like all these songs, so like, if I'm not feeling it, I'll skip it. But if I like it, it stays on.
It stays on. I'm sorry.
And I do that with new music now. I just make a playlist of all the songs I like, and that just might be the way my brain works. If I don't like it, I have to skip it until I hear the right song.
Yeah.
And then I hear that one song, I'm like, okay.
That's how it is. That's why you make a playlist, because you don't know what you're going to feel that day. You might be feeling like you want to hear something hard and heavy. Like you said, you might want to hear something slow.
You never know.
Down tempo, man.
Just whatever I'm feeling after I get in the car.
Some days you want to hear country, gospel, whatever.
Like one day I'll go from listening to new pop, like a good new pop artist, and then next day go to like country folk music.
Yeah.
It's just whatever you're feeling. Everybody has their own days where they feel something else.
Yeah.
But I mean, the most important thing with music, I mean, just enjoy it. Don't force yourself to listen to music you don't like.
Yeah.
If they don't like it, I mean, well, my car.
Yeah, my car. Close your ears.
I don't know what to tell you.
Stick your head out the window.
You're on my time, buddy.
Yeah.
But music's such an important thing.
I think so, and then,
it's good.
It open your mind, just like movies. There's gonna be good, there's gonna be bad, but you have to at least give it a chance. I've come across bands I didn't think were gonna be that good, and then it turns out, holy shit,
they're pretty good.
That's pretty good. And then of course you hear some bands that you hear one good song and then you buy the album and that's the only good song.
Yeah.
So there's hit and miss. It's gonna happen, but you never know. You might come across something you didn't think you would like, and then next thing you know, you found a new artist.
Yeah, I mean, good music is definitely free falling.
Yeah.
Listen, play Rock Band with that
Petty,
one.
Man.
That one's got good memories with the whole family with Rock Band. Always doing it on the weekends.
That was so fun.
Good times.
That was one of the. They need to bring that back, and they need to, revitalize it and really step it up, because I think Rock Band is one of the best things for a family on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday night.
Just music.
Because they had so much diverse music on there. There was going to be something for everyone. And then they even started doing the country packs. They had the heavy metal pack. Then they had like the grunge. And to where, okay, if you didn't like that kind of music, you could get this one. You could even start downloading songs at one point.
There was even a Beatles version. Just a Green Day version. I mean, I love that Green Day one.
Yeah, that Green Day one was awesome.
You had the Lego, which was all the kids' songs, stuff like that. But those ones, and then Kid Rock was also big in the childhood. That wasn't a rock movie. That was a big childhood one for me.
But the thing is, that brought everybody together. Everybody wanted to sing, play the drums, play the guitar, dance around, sing in the background, having a good time. And it's like, that's what's great about it, man. Music, yes, it can unlock memories and take you back, be nostalgic, but it's also, it's just such a positive thing. I think we need that in the world more than anything right now.
Yeah. You just learn so much from the music. I mean, everybody has their own unique soul, so go find your unique music.
Yeah.
Feed that soul. Why not?
Everybody has their own personal soundtrack to their own life. Okay.
You just have to decide it.
Some may be a little bit scarier than others, and some might be a little bit more docile than others, but everybody's got their own soundtrack to life, and that's what's great about it. You get to make your own soundtrack to life.
Exactly.
Because the songs that you remember that take you back, make you reflect on things or make you appreciate things, it's like, you're in your own movie. That's your soundtrack right there. Every damn song that brings back that memory.
Just play it.
Yeah.
No, music is definitely special, especially in our family, probably more than others, but family always, or not family, music always has a way to tie in everything.
Yeah.
So it's just, every moment can have music. It's just, you got to feel it, know what the moment feels like to you, kind of just indulge in it. Like you're saying, it's like, it's good for you. I don't know. I've always liked music. And movies are a great way to get music and action and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So those two genres, they're a great way to kind of feed just like your head and your soul and everything like that.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Feed your soul.
Yeah. I like this episode. This one was fun.
I enjoyed that.
Get more personal with y'all. Let us know y'all's favorite movies from childhood and music and stuff like that. Even your current adult, teenagehood.
Yeah.
Whatever age you are. just let us know what you're thinking, stuff like that. But we will be back this weekend.
Yes.
We're enjoying this. We're already on episode 10, which is insane.
Episode 10.
Every 10 episodes, we'll try to do a big episode.
Yeah.
Big finale to every 10 episodes. And kind of just show y'all that we appreciate it and everything like that. But that's going to be it for the Future Podcast, episode 10 today.